A Warning to the Curious is a short story by Montague Rhodes James, a British author and medievalist scholar. James was famous for his antiquarian ghost stories set in European quaint towns where the lines between past and present, mystical and ordinary, were smudged to present a tale crisscrossing mystery, supernatural, and history. A Warning to the Curious is a horror ghost story published in 1925 in the short story collection titled A Warning to the Curious and Other Ghost Stories. Set in the fictionalized seabird town of East Coast England, it is a multi-layered narrative from the first-person perspective in which the unnamed narrator recounts the harrowing tale of an archaeologist named Paxton finding a lost crown and subsequently getting murdered by a ghostly guardian of that crown. Do like and subscribe. A Warning to the Curious begins with the reader is asked to consider is Seaburg, as the author paints a vivid picture of its picturesque landscape, including its marshes, expansive seafront, quaint streets, grand church, railway, and windmills. The narrator, intimately familiar with Seaburg since childhood, harbors a deep affection for the town and its stories. Among these tales is one about a man of whom the narrator became a trusted confidant. Set on April 19 sometime during the 20th century, in a nearly empty hotel where the narrator and his friend, Henry Long, encounter a pale, anxious young man named Paxton seeking company. The young man recounts a fascinating story, involving a visit to the local churchyard where he encountered an old coat of arms bearing 3 crowns, believed to be a symbol of the ancient kingdom of East Anglia. According to local legend, these crowns were buried to thwart potential invaders, particularly the Germans. The reactor reinforced this tale, who reveals the buried history of these crowns. The 3 crowns were buried in separate places to prevent the Germans from landing. Yet, only 1 crown remains undiscovered, while 1 crown of Redwald, king of the East Angles, was found and melted in 1687, and the second Anglo-Saxon crown was lost in the sea. The reactor shares with Paxton his connection to William Ager, the alleged last guardian of the last remaining crown. The death of the last of Ager led them to believe that the crown now lacks a guardian. Meanwhile, Parton, during a bicycle ride, stumbles upon a gravestone bearing William Ager's name. In the curiosity shop, he discovers a prayer book containing entries related to the Agers, which he shows to the narrator. Parton investigates Ager's demise further and learns of Ager's nocturnal activities on a nearby hillock. Paxton discovered the hidden crown after excavating a tunnel on the hilltop. Astonished by this revelation, the narrator and Henry Long get baffled when Parton states his intention to return the crown, despite its immense value. Offering their support, they encourage Parton to confirm the crown's existence, which he assures them he possesses. Going to Paxton's room, they witness Paxton unwrap the crown, revealing its antiquated silver craftsmanship adorned with aged gems. A worried Paxton urges them to ensure if the coast is clear before returning to their room. Later, in the safety of their room, Paxton admits to never being alone since laying hands on the crown, hinting at the ominous forces it may have unleashed. Paxton reported feeling a constant presence lurking around him, even catching glimpses of this figure out of the corner of his eye. Everywhere he turned, he sensed this unseen entity's presence, unsettling him deeply. Moreover, strange occurrences intensified, such as finding the prayer book consistently open to pages listing Ager's names, with his razor oddly placed between them, and feeling as though someone was scraping his back while he excavated the tunnel. The disconcerting feeling escalated as people reacted oddly when near him, further confirming Paxton's belief that an ominous force was trailing him. Overwhelmed, Paxton broke down in tears. The narrator and his friend resolved to assist him in returning the crown to its rightful place. Journeying to the designated spot, the narrator sensed an unsettling presence watching them. Henry Long felt, and I felt too, that there were what I can only call dim presences waiting for us. Paxton, consumed by fear, he breathed like a hunted beast, and hastily dug a hole in the ground, frantically returning the crown before hastily covering it with soil, despite his bleeding hands. Racing back to the safety of the hotel, they encountered a witness who claimed to have seen someone pursuing them. Attempting to lift Paxton's spirits, they reassured him, yet the next day Paxton's sudden disappearance raised alarm, with sightings of him running and waving his handkerchief leaving them baffled. Climbing a tower, they discovered Paxton's lifeless body below. His tracks showed that he had run along the side of the battery, had turned sharp round the corner of it, and, small doubt of it, must have dashed straight into the open arms of someone who was waiting there. His mouth was full of sand and stones, and his teeth and jaws were broken to bits. Despite the tragic turn of events, the narrator and Henry Long kept the crown's legend secret, with the narrator vowing never to return to Seaburg following this harrowing ordeal. Let's analyze A Warning to the Curious. While the title A Warning to the Curious suggests that Paxton's curiosity is his downfall, it's his lack of respect, rather than mere curiosity, that leads to his demise. Both at the hands of the ghost and due to his overwhelming guilt. Paxton's relentless pursuit of the buried crown serves as the vehicle for his tragic death. Had he not succumbed to his curiosity and refrained from seeking the crown, perhaps he might have avoided his untimely death. The circumstances surrounding Paxton's demise remain shrouded in mystery, with no definitive resolution. All that could be done was to return a verdict of willful murder by some person or persons unknown. The Church's elderly man's fervent warnings about the crown's significance indicate its cultural value. Despite recognizing the community's reverence for the crown as a protective talisman, Paxton arrogantly proceeds to unearth it, thereby desecrating a revered cultural artifact. The arduous labor to retrieve the crown leaves Paxton in a state of misery and fear, ultimately culminating in his tragic demise. The apparition of William Ager serves as a symbolic manifestation of Paxton's guilt stemming from his theft of the crown. Paxton experiences a sense of shame, but this guilt intensifies only after he has already taken the artifact. Ager's ghost, initially glimpsed in Paxton's peripheral vision, symbolizes his subconscious guilt, elusive when directly confronted, mirroring Paxton's avoidance of facing his wrongdoing head-on. As Paxton's pursuit of the crown progresses, his guilt deepens, paralleling the ghost's escalating presence, culminating in physical sensations of discomfort while digging the tunnel. Despite his efforts to bury his guilt, its persistent presence remains, echoing the irreversible harm caused by his actions. The relentless Ager's ghost serves as a reminder of Paxton's remorse, exemplifying the debilitating effects of guilt following a significant offense. The narrator only shares what he personally witnessed, which may not provide a complete or reliable account, given his limited perspective. The possibility arises that Paxton's demise could be attributed to a real assailant rather than the supposed ghost of William Ager. This individual might have been aware of the crown's value and sought to obtain it by any means necessary. With only the narrator remaining alive of the three witnesses to the crown, suspicion arises regarding the reliability of his version of events. The fact that both the narrator and Henry Long saw the crown in Paxton's possession gives credibility to Paxton's narrative over the narrator's retelling. Paxton's death, officially deemed a murder by an unknown assailant, closes the case, yet leaves lingering suspicions, especially concerning the unidentified individual observed watching Paxton uncover the crown. The narrator's silence on this matter fuels further speculation, raising doubts about Paxton's true intentions in unearthing the crown and returning it to its original location. The story is open-ended, leaving readers to draw their own conclusions regarding the mysterious circumstances surrounding Paxton's death. Hope you like, share and subscribe to our channel for more videos.